What if I told you the soundtrack to South Asia's soul wasn't just catchy tunes, but a powerful spiritual force that literally shaped nations? Prepare to discover how Sufi music, with its mesmerizing rhythms and profound poetry, didn't just entertain. It wove itself into the very fabric of the region's history, culture, and diverse traditions. You'll never hear South Asia the same way again. Forget everything you thought you knew about music's impact. Imagine an art form so potent, so deeply spiritual, that it transcended borders, united communities, and became an undeniable architect of South Asia's identity. This isn't just about melodies, it's about the extraordinary journey of Sufi music and how its profound influence still echoes through the subcontinent today. So, let's embark on a journey through time, faith, and sound, to uncover how Sufi music shaped South Asia. To understand Sufi music, we first need to understand the world that birthed it. Sufism emerged around the 8th century in the Middle East, a spiritual movement within Islam that sought direct experience of the divine. It wasn't about rules or dogma, it was about love, devotion, and transcendence. For the Sufis, the heart was a gateway to God, and music, known as sama, was the key that could unlock it. In Persian, sama means listening. But for the Sufis, it was far more than listening. It was a ritual of spiritual ecstasy, where rhythmic music and poetry became tools for divine connection. The earliest Sufi poets, such as Jalaluddin Rumi and his beloved mentor Shamsi Tabrizi, saw poetry and rhythm as a language beyond words. Rumi wrote, "We have fallen into the place where everything is music." For them, music wasn't entertainment, it was enlightenment, a medium through which the soul could remember its origin and reunite with the divine. From this mystical soil, the seeds of Sufi music were planted, and soon those seeds would travel thousands of miles to a land destined to transform them forever. By the 12th century, caravans of traders, scholars, and mystics were moving along the ancient Silk Road, connecting the Islamic world from Baghdad to Bukhara, from Samarkand to Sindh. Among these travelers were Sufi saints, bearers of a message not just of faith, but of love and inclusion. And they brought with them something extraordinary, music as a form of devotion. When these mystics reached the Indian subcontinent, they found a land rich with its own spiritual traditions, Hindu bhakti poetry, Buddhist chants, and indigenous folk songs. The meeting of these traditions sparked a cultural alchemy. The Chishtiya order, founded by Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti in Ajmer, became one of the earliest and most influential Sufi movements in South Asia. His disciples, like Nizamuddin Aulia and Amir Khusrau, transformed the practice of sama into something uniquely Indian. It was Khusrau, a poet, musician, and polymath, who is often credited as the father of Qawwali. He blended Persian, Arabic, Turkish, and local Indian melodies into a form that captured both the soul of Sufism and the heart of Hindustan. Alongside Qawwali, another genre emerged, Kafi, a poetic and musical expression that flourished particularly in Punjab and Sindh, carrying themes of divine love and human longing. These new forms spread through Sufi shrines, village gatherings, and royal courts alike. The music became a living bridge, linking Persian mysticism with Indian devotion, Arabic rhythm with subcontinental melody. And in that fusion, something timeless was born. As centuries passed, Sufi music evolved into an extraordinary tapestry of regional sounds. In the deserts of Sindh, Sufi music took the form of hauntingly beautiful kafis, the verses of poets like Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai, whose words celebrated divine love in the language of the people. In Punjab, Kafi and Qawwali intertwined with the local folk idiom. The verses of Bulleh Shah, Waris Shah, and Sultan Bahu gave voice to rebellion, love, and unity, sung in shrines and fields alike. In Kashmir, Sufiyana Kalam emerged, a classical form influenced by Persian maqam systems and local folk traditions. It reflected the valley's ethereal beauty and mystical temperament. Down south, In Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Sufi traditions blended with Carnatic influences, creating distinctive devotional genres among Muslim and Hindu communities alike. But Sufi music was never confined to the shrine. It became part of weddings, festivals, and everyday life. Even more remarkably, it became a force for unity. In times of division, Sufi songs reminded people that love transcends religion. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians would gather at dargahs, Sufi shrines, to listen, to weep, to dance, to remember the same God by different names. Through rhythm and poetry, Sufi music became a silent revolution, softening hearts where swords could not. Fast forward to the 20th century. The world was changing, but Sufi music was ready to evolve once again. Few figures embody this transformation as powerfully as Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. Born in Faisalabad, Pakistan, Nusrat took traditional qawwali from the intimate setting of the shrine to the world stage. With his thunderous voice and unearthly range, he made ancient Sufi poetry resonate in stadiums, films, and global music festivals. His collaborations with Western artists like Peter Gabriel and Eddie Vedder introduced Sufi music to new audiences while keeping its spiritual core intact. And he wasn't alone. Abida Parveen, the queen of Sufi music, brought the soulful poetry of Shah Latif, Bulleh Shah, and others to millions through her hypnotic renditions. In India, artists like Kailash Kher, A.R. Rahman, and the band Junoon infused Sufi themes into contemporary rock, pop, and film music, creating a modern soundscape that still pulsed with the mystic heartbeat of centuries past. In the 21st century, digital platforms sparked what could be called a Sufi renaissance. Shows like Coke Studio in Pakistan, Pepsi Battle of the Bands, and similar projects across South Asia began to reimagine Sufi poetry in modern arrangements, fusing traditional instruments like the harmonium and tabla with electric guitars, synthesizers, and orchestral layers. And in 2025, this music continues to find new listeners around the world. From Istanbul to New York, Delhi to London, the message of divine love that once echoed through the courtyards of shrines now resonates across playlists and concert halls. At its core, Sufi music has always been more than melody. It's a philosophy. Every verse, every note carries layers of meaning. When Bulleh Shah sings, Buleya ki jana main kaun, O Bulleh, I know not who I am, he's not just expressing confusion. He's pointing toward the annihilation of ego, the central Sufi goal of merging the self with the divine. Rumi, Khusrau, Shah Latif, Sultan Bahu, these poets wrote of love that defies boundaries, of unity that transcends creed. Their words continue to guide those seeking peace in a fragmented world. Today, preservation efforts are underway across South Asia to document, archive, and promote Sufi music. Institutions, cultural trusts, and digital curators are recording performances, translating ancient lyrics, and training new generations of qawwals and Sufi singers. Because Sufi music is not a relic, it's a living tradition. It adapts, it evolves, but its essence remains the same: to awaken the soul, to heal divisions, and to remind humanity of its shared longing for love and unity. As long as hearts beat and voices rise in devotion, Sufi music will continue to echo through the bazaars, mountains, and cities of South Asia, carrying the same timeless message: that beyond all differences, there is only one rhythm, the rhythm of divine love. So next time you hear a qawwali's crescendo or the gentle sway of a Sufi kafi, remember, you're not just listening to music, you're hearing the story of centuries, of poets, saints, and seekers who used sound to touch the divine. This is the soundtrack of South Asia's soul. And now that you know, you'll never hear it the same way again. Know more, be more.